Alright guys, real quick video for the channel. I don't even know if I'm gonna edit it. I might just upload it straight off my phone. So you know how I like all my weird stuff. You know, we got the Bronco Sport, we got Slam Chrysler 300, we got boats, we got race stuff. You know, I like all my weird things. So we got a new project for the channel, and well, here it is. Here we go. This is a 1949 Ford 8N tractor, and this one has the very awesome, and yes, very rare, bucket attachment on it. Now, we needed a bucket, we needed a tractor for our homestead. That's ultimately what it came down to. We raise meat rabbits, and we're thinking about getting, you know, a couple sheep. We really just needed a workhorse to be able to go around and get stuff done. One of our big things is we said we have to have a bucket. This was not a debate, has to have a bucket. Now this bucket does have a small leak up here. It's something I'm gonna have to check out and go through. And you can see where the seal has dropped down, and I can't tell. You know, it might just be replace the cylinder. It might be go through it and check it out. But when we looked at the price of new tractors, it is ridiculous, and I wasn't willing to do it. So even if we put a bunch of work into this, I'm still going to be happy with it where we're at on price point. So check this out though. Underneath, you have a basic 1940s to 1950s Ford tractor. I mean, it's hard to see underneath, but it's there. The 8N, which is what this is, it was their later model for this style of tractor, and it came with their 4-speed transmission. It was kind of one of the first tractors that came out with a 4-speed transmission like this, and it really was like the workhorse for small farms, for homesteads, and things like that at the time. Now, the guy I picked this up off of, a younger guy my age, he had a couple of these, and he still to this day used this to plant and harvest hay. So they still are a great workhorse tractor. It's a little gas-powered inline engine. You can see here, you know, they're just their big cast iron workhorse engine that they built for years and put in everything. So he had, you know, this one with the bucket attachment. He said he bought the bucket attachment separate, got it put on here, and it, other than that one cylinder acting up and leaking a little bit, it works completely fine. So that's the new project for our channel. All right, I want to do some restoration videos on this. I want to get it cleaned up. It's not bad, but you know, I think a little bit of paint here and there, a little bit of maintenance is really going to go a long way. Now, I'm not a professional on tractors. I will be honest and straight up front with you. So a little bit to go over a little bit. If you have any interest in these Ford N series tractors, again, they are a gas powered tractor. To start them up, we'll just go over some things. Here's the key under here that flips up. You need to make sure you're in neutral. There's neutral, you know, safety. Here's the shifter, and then push the start button right there. Has to be in neutral. There's a little safety piece underneath of this cover, so you have to be in neutral to get it to start up. You know, normal, if you have any familiarity with old tractors, the clutch is on this side. The throttle is that lever right there, slides back and forth. So you don't have any gas pedal or anything like that on an old tractor. Coming around to this side, we have left and right brakes up there. See that? Left and right brakes, so you can steer when you're, you know, without using these front tires, because really the rear tires are the push and the front tires are kind of just there to keep everything up off the ground. Spilled my coffee. That was the saddest thing that's ever happened in my life. Now, we do have this counterweight back here. This is just a barrel with some rocks in it, but we are able to lift this up, put it down hydraulically, which is nice. And then this cap right here, once it's running and your foot's off the clutch, that's constantly spinning. So that's for all your rear drive stuff, your mower decks and anything else you'd want to attach back here. He gave me some awesome stuff, like, you know, some of the original manuals and so on. Some other things that I just go over real quick. This is a 6-volt system, so you can't throw in your normal 12-volt battery. And also with 6-volt systems at the time, they run reverse current, which means that your negative actually goes on the positive side of the battery, and vice versa. Don't screw that up, okay? Don't screw that up. So yeah, it does run reverse. You can convert them over to 12-volt systems. I've done a little bit of research on that this morning, just to see, you know, what really went into it. There's some companies out there that make it so you have a new wiring harness that goes right in. Obviously, you got to switch out the gauges so that way you have, you know, 12 volts up here on your voltage gauge. But ultimately, you know, it's a kind of like a plug and play almost. You do have to swap out a few things like your alternator and so on to have a better charging system. I'm not sure how far we're going to go into this. Again, I bought this as a workhorse tractor, but I do want to clean it up. I do want to get some paint on it. I do want to maintain it better than it was. Not that he did anything wrong with maintaining it. It's just, you know, these paint chips over time are going to rust, and I want this thing to last another 80 years past where it's at now. So it's survived this long. Let's put some time into it. Let's get it looking nice. Let's make sure all this bucket stuff's working like it should. And yeah, so that's the new project for the channel. I don't know how much work I'm going to do on it. Like I said, a lot of it's going to be cleanup work. I don't know how much I'll post about it, but this is a 1949, I believe, Ford 8N. So yeah, if you have any questions about this tractor or anything similar to it, leave them in the comments below. Again, I'm not a tractor expert. I'll be straight up and say that right now. But I have worked as a farmhand in the past. I've operated quite a few different tractors, so I know how they operate. And it's all pretty basic and straightforward. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. If you have any questions about this specific tractor, say you have one, you're trying to restore one, and you need to know how it's wired or things like that, let me know. I do need to go through some of this because there are some wires dangling down here for like rear work lights. I do have the fenders that go over this. He had flipped the tires to make it a little wider. I might flip them back out, not sure yet, but I do have the fenders to go back over these in the bed of the truck, along with some spare hoses and stuff that he had for this. So yeah, that's the new project. Get out there, build cool things, even if it's an old tractor, even if it's an old car, an old boat, you know, build cool things, have fun with it. You know, we live one life, and you gotta have fun. You gotta build the strange, build the cookie, the quirky, build the weird, and do whatever you enjoy, right? So get out there, have fun, and most importantly, have a good day.